Hello, my name is Julie Sackles, and I have been teaching science in Hillsborough County for 24 years. I currently teach AP Environmental Science at Tampa Bay Tech. I love science and exploring the wonders of the natural world. I try to instill this same passion for science in my students by providing them with opportunities to connect with nature, hands-on learning experiences, and technology-based skills to prepare them for continued education in the workforce. Learning takes place in arenas other than the classroom, and I have worked many years with both our school's Science Brain Bowl and Envirothon teams. Inside the classroom, I capitalize on student interests by designing both short and long-term projects with their interests and future career goals in mind. My favorite project takes place throughout the second semester when students work in small groups to design sustainable cities. This project prepares them for their College Board proficiency exam while reviewing essential material in an innovative and exciting way. Students are challenged to build a city that can function with minimal imports and exports while also incorporating the latest technologies to do so in a sustainable manner, leaving only a small carbon footprint. We address different aspects of this project every few weeks, with the students conferencing with me along the way to ensure that misconceptions are addressed. The students have to recall information we have covered earlier in the year, brainstorm with each other, research the most current discoveries, and then apply all of their findings in a viable fashion. Students choose to either build three-dimensional models of their city or craft a PowerPoint to make it easier to present to their classmates. Through my efforts at USF researching algae grown in wastewater for the purpose of converting it to biofuel, I was able to design a lab that would allow my students to conduct a similar project in my classroom and then check algae growth levels using scientific equipment such as colorimeters. The NSF grant that funded my participation in the program also paid for the purchase of equipment so I could bring these technologies into my classroom. I teach at a Title I school where 77% of the students are on free and reduced lunch. Early in my teaching career, I learned that many of these students have limited exposure to natural settings, and many of them hadn't even had the most basic experience of growing plants from a seed. Their ability to understand the complex environmental science content was hampered by this lack of experience. In order to make the course content more relatable and impactful, I have written numerous grants to bring in well over $21,000 for different projects in my classroom. These funds have enabled me to take my students on our annual field trip to Crystal Springs Preserve. This trip enables them to gain a new perspective when we discuss the sources of their drinking water, water pollution, and even their responsibility to give back to their community as we learn firsthand about the importance of clean drinking water, craft children's books about water conservation, and volunteer to remove invasive plants from the Hillsborough River. We also conduct a biodiversity study in a small section of the river and take water samples to test water quality, providing students with the opportunity to gain more hands-on experience with scientific equipment. Grant money has also allowed me to initiate a school vegetable and herb garden so that as we discussed our unit on agriculture and the nitrogen cycle, students were able to experience the excitement of nurturing seedlings as they grow and understand what plants need to flourish. They could appreciate the difficulties associated with growing enough food to feed the entire world and processing and transporting that food in a safe manner. My students were able to literally enjoy the fruits of their labor when we involved the students in our culinary arts program to create delicious products from what we had grown. Because of our early school year start this year, I had more time than usual with my students after the completion of the College Board's AP exam in early May. This year, I gave my students free rein in choosing what type of project they wanted to do to wrap up the year. Many of them created solar cookers, which they then excitedly tested. Others created art or useful products from recycled materials such as plastic bottle caps, newspaper, and other found objects. A couple of my architecture students went on to make improved city blueprints to build on their group's previous ideas. They had the freedom to choose what interested them and allowed them to showcase their individual talents.